All right, sorry I'm a little late. Just had to grab a couple of things. Okay. So, for these next couple of questions with the Punnett squares, let's look at number 1, okay? So we're talking about butterflies. It is saying that white wings are dominant to yellow wings, okay? So for number 1, all right, white wings is dominant, okay? And yellow wings recessive, okay? Hey guys, what's going on? This is 7th grade, Karina. So now it's going to tell you that one butterfly is capital W, lowercase w, and the other one is both lowercases. So we have to make our Punnett square. Okay. We'll put the capital W's at the top and the other one at the bottom. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to run them across again. Okay. So for the top guys, I'm going to use blue. Then going across, we're going to use red. So we got capital W, capital. Then we have lowercase and lowercase. Okay. So remember, this is a little different than the other worksheets we've used because now it's asking us these 3 things. It's asking us for genotype. Okay. So we got genotype. Then we have phenotype. And then we have chance, which is basically percent. Okay. So genotype, it's all the possible different combinations that the alleles can have, all right, which are the letters. So we have 2 capital W's, so we got to write that one. All right. That's capital W's again, so we don't have to write it again. Then we have a capital and a lowercase. Okay. And then we go to this one, and we still have that capital and lowercase. So now we got phenotype. Okay. Remember, that is the color. All right. So the color, you have white wing or yellow wing. So remember, if it's got a dominant, if it's got an uppercase, it's going to be what color? It's going to be white. All right. Because that is the physical. All right. Now we have an uppercase W and a lowercase w. That's also going to be white. So now we're doing the chance, which is basically the percent again. So let's see, how many boxes do we have 2 uppercase W's? We got 1, we got 2, so it's 50%. We go to the other one, we have uppercase W, lowercase w, uppercase W, lowercase. There's 2 of them. Remember, each one of these boxes is 50%, or I'm sorry, 25%, but it equals 50%. So you have a 50% chance of having these alleles or these alleles, but the butterfly is always going to be white wings, okay? All right, so that's for that one. All right, so if we flip it over, we can do a couple of the other ones. We got 4 more, okay? All right, so for this one, they actually give us the alleles that are next to it, okay? So we have capital D, lowercase d, then we have capital D, lowercase d again, okay? So let's bring across the blues. Then bring those down. Okay. So now we got to find out the three things again, right? We got genotype, phenotype, and chance. So write that down. Geno, pheno, chance. Now the only problem with this is we have to read the paragraph up at the top. It says in dogs, type of deafness caused by a recessive gene. 2 dogs who carry the gene for deafness but have normal hearing are made. Okay. What are the possibility phenotypes of their offspring, the percent chance for each? Okay. So if they have both double negative or double recessive alleles, all right, which will be lowercase, they're going to be deaf. So we'll do recessive equals deafness. Okay. And dominant not deaf. So now let's put all the different genotypes that we can have. How many different genotypes are there in this? Let's look at the first box. We got 2 capital D's. Okay. Go to the next one. We got a capital. We got a lowercase. And then we have 2 lowercases. Those are the only 3 combinations that we have in this. Okay. So now let's look at the phenotype. Phenotype, physical, right? So dominant, it's going to be not deaf. So that first box, so for this guy, not deaf. All right. Again, we have a capital, not deaf. And then we have 2 lowercases. So that's going to be deafness. And then we're going to look at the chance, okay? So the chance, how many of them is it capital D's? We got 25%. Then we look at when there's a capital and a lowercase. There's 2 of them. So remember, they're each 25%. So it's going to be 50%. And then the last one is our lowercase, 25% again. So if these 2 dogs had an offspring, they'd have a 25% chance that their offspring would be deaf. Okay? All right, I'm going to go to the next one, okay? All right, so I'll keep these things all up here. So now we're looking at guinea pigs. Short hair is dominant over long hair. Okay? So we got dominant short hair. And then long hair is recessive. All right? So now it's giving us our 2 different pairs of alleles. So for the short-haired, okay, it's going to be SS, capital. And then for our long-haired guinea pig, it's going to be lowercase. So we're going to bring the lowercases across. And then we're going to do the uppercases. We're going to bring those down. Okay. So now we have to find the same geno. So let's see what we have for this. This one's going to be a little different. So we really only have capital S, lowercase s. Right? So do we have to write down any other ones? No, right? It's just going to be the first genotype. Now, the phenotype, if you have a capital S, you're going to have short hair. And then the chance to get that, it's going to be 100%. because that dominant set of alleles from that one guinea pig brings it down. And every time you have a capital S for this question, you're going to have short hair. All right, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? While I set this up, this next problem. All right, good. Everyone playing good video games? All right, so can you curl your tongue up to the side, okay? So dominant genetic gene. Suppose a man who is capital T, lowercase t for tongue, curling. So dominant trait. So basically it's whether if you're dominant, you're curling it. If not, you can't. So that's going to be recessive. So it's saying that a man with capital T, lowercase t for tongue curling marries a woman who is also capital T, lowercase t. So let's try this. So I'm going to use blue for the man. And then we're going to use red for the woman. We'll bring over the woman's. Then we're going to bring down man's allele. Now let's do all the genotypes. So our first box, okay, is capital T, capital T. So there's our first genotype. Go to the next one. We got capital T, lowercase, and then we got lowercase and lowercase. Now we're playing the phenotype, right? We got to see what we're doing. So two capital T's, that's the curling for tongue curling. We go capital T, lowercase t, that's also curling. And then we have two lowercase t's, so that is, you can't do it. Not curling. So let's see the chances. So we have two capital T's. And that's the only one. So it's going to be 25%. We got a capital and a lowercase 2 times. Remember, they're 25% each, so it's going to be 50%. And then the last one, we got two lowercases. So it's kind of like that other problem. You got 25% chance of dominant, double dominant, homozygous curling. You have 50% chance of heterozygous, because they're different, remember, curling. And then you have 25% chance of not curling at all with two recessive genes. So if they would have an offspring, they only would have a 25% chance that the tongue cannot get curled. All right, last one. We're done. Any questions so far? What are you playing, Anthony? Warzone? Till 6? That must be a lot of games if you're dying so quick. Okay. Last one. We're doing guinea pigs again. We got rough coats with lots of, basically it's like rough fur, and then dominant over smooth coats, okay? Or are dominant. So rough. And what was the other one? Oh, smooth. Okay. So let's see, they give us that one guinea pig. It's capital R, capital R. And then the other one is capital R and lowercase r. So let's bring over the capital R with the blue. And then we're going to bring down the red. And we got to find our genotype. So the first one, we got 2 capital R's. Then we keep going. Then we got a capital R and a lowercase r. We're looking at the phenotype. So if it's got 2 capital R's, that's going to be rough. Rough fur. Capital R, lowercase r, still going to be rough fur. Let's see our chances. So there's 2 of them. 25, 50, got a 50% chance. Then you have another set of 2, so 50% chance. And those are our answers. So for this one, your offspring is always going to have rough fur. Now, when these offsprings have offsprings, it might be different. But for right now, these 2 guinea pigs, they're always going to have offspring with rough fur, which some of them are going to pass maybe a recessive gene down. Do I play? Yes, I play Modern Warfare. And that is it for today. Does anyone have any questions on that? You have a question? Shoot. You could take a picture and upload it onto Google Classroom, or I'll just take your word for it. Yeah, you can send it by email. So my email is on the website. It's just basically S and then my last name and that, and then all the other stuff for the school. All right, Anthony? It should also be on Google Classroom, but you can send it to it. All right, so I'll see you guys later.